Is
You'll
there
see
a
a little.
delay in
No,
live versus what's posted?
no, absolutely not. Matter of fact, you see the little red live on there. So you know what that means? That
Yeah.
means we are live, Chris.
Hey,
What
what's
is up,
up?
everybody? What's going on? Listen, welcome to another Pin to Gas podcast. And what an honor it is to have my friend, which it's an honor to call him my friend too, as well as Chris Gladden, Pro Tampa Rider. What is going on?
Glandon.
Sorry, Glandon. I'm
Glandon.
sorry. I'm
Glandon.
sorry. I'm sorry. I
Man,
messed
you
up.
remind me of my fifth grade teacher calling me Glad. Where's Gladden at?
Chris Glandon. You're like,
Come
girl,
on.
get it right. Listen,
There's
I
a
get the same
O.
thing with Simcoe. Everybody says my name absolutely bonkers. And I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. I just go with it. Yeah. Funny. Good stuff, man. Good stuff, man. So what's going on?
Oh, dude. So the work life has been just scaling up big time, man. Like everything with the business and the training and the just so many things happening so fast, dude. Like I didn't expect it. When I started this project 2 years ago, when I was doing the motor trainer only, like this, wait, where is that right here? The motor trainer, the simulator. When I started doing that, I had no idea it was going to evolve to what it's done. And like now it's just, man, things are moving, dude, in like so many directions. Like as a new business owner, I'm like, how the fuck do I manage all that? I'm by myself, right? I'm the marketing guy, the sales guy, the coach, the freaking logistics guy, the driver, the freaking I do it all. I'm like, how in the world am I gonna pull all this off? But you know what, man? The community, bro. Like the motorcycle community has always been good to me since I moved to Florida, and it's still just reciprocating, man. Like you meet good people, and you know how it is community, right?
It is.
You know what I mean? It's a community thing, and it doesn't matter if you're racing. It doesn't matter if it's riding on the street. It doesn't matter what it is, dude. Just everybody comes together and like, oh man, motorcycles is a thing. That's why I love it so much. You know?
It is. And it's the greatest thing on earth, right? Nothing like two wheels. It's nothing. It gives you emotions you never felt before, the freedom you don't never have unless you straddle to the motorcycle. No matter what size it is, it don't matter. It's that freedom. You still get it, right?
Right.
Whatever the size. But yeah, so listen, Chris, dude, how did you get into motorcycles to begin with? Let's go from the very beginning.
Oh God, do you want to go back to the beginning?
Yeah, I want to go back.
Dude, so I was that kid that just could not get my parents to look at two wheels, right? Like there was no way my mom was going to get me and get a bike, and I wanted to do it so bad. It was the one thing I always wanted to do. So I did BMX, skateboarding, rollerblading, everything else that could hurt me really bad, I did. But when it came to a motor, my mom was like, "No, there's no way. Like, just never going to happen." So the day I turned 18, um, God, maybe it was 19. I borrowed my friend's bike, and if Rob ever listens to this, he'll be able to verify the story. So I traded him my car for his bike for a weekend, right? And there's a picture on my refrigerator. I wish I had it right now. I still have it posted up, and my mom took the picture. She's like, "You're gonna kill yourself," one of those kind of things. And I was like, "Don't say that." Yeah. 2 days later, yeah, dude. So unfortunate situation. Like I got hit. A 48 by 96 sheet of plastic fell off of a truck and was like laying in the highway, and it was yellow polycarbonate, like quarter-inch thick, like sign plastic. And
Yeah.
an SUV hit it, and as soon as it hit it, it stood up in front of me. And second day on a bike, I'm like, what do I do? 75 miles an hour. I'm like, I froze. I went into
Yep.
like deer in headlights. I'm like, I don't know what to do. Hit this thing, and dude, wearing a t-shirt, pants, tennis shoes, open fingertip workout gloves. Like I got fucked up so bad. I got screwed up so bad. So it was at that moment that I'm like, damn, okay, I got to respect this thing because it could kill me. I somehow survived, right, on I-45 in Houston. So that was like the start where I was like, got to respect these things. And fast forward, you know, 20 years now, I guess. I just realized, like, as I got older and grew up, I'm like, man, people just don't really know the fundamentals of riding. And I had some really good friends that taught me, like, the ethics of, like, good riding styles and proper things to do on the street. And when you know, they both passed away. So Chris Kane was a huge influence on me. My buddy Teo was a huge influence on me, and they both passed away. And so I took a 5-year hiatus. And when I came back, I'm like, I got to do something different. So I took the opportunity to start what I did and started getting trained right. And ProRider popped up in my feed one day and was like, hey, you want to start a school? I'm like, yes, I absolutely do. And you know how it goes from there. Like Facebook listens to your conversation. It's like, pay money and do this and whatever. Here we are, you know?
That's
So it
awesome.
really came from like the motorcycle safety thing, man. Like I almost killed myself being an idiot. I've lost a lot of friends that were great riders that made mistakes, dude. Like made mistakes, split second, poor decision, and you know, car pulls out in front of them and they're doing what they're doing, and good night, lights out. You know, so it was like at that moment where I'm like, damn, dude, like this happens to so many people. And I watch videos where you can just watch somebody crash into someone, and it's like, dude, that didn't need to happen, right? So I figured I may as well try and do something, and all these opportunities just kind of presented themselves, you know.
Yeah, dude, great story, right? And listen, welcome co-host Eli in the house. What's going on, man?
Damn, look at that. Blocks in the house. What's up, brother?
Get rid of me, Chris. You can't get rid of me.
Oh God, dude, you follow me everywhere, man.
I know. I think it's the other way around.
No, see, you followed me to Florida, and now you're following me on this freaking podcast, and you're a co-host. How much did you pay Chris for this?
Nothing, man. Dude, Eli's awesome, man. He's listen, I can't say good enough things about Eli and his dad. They're proper guys, man. Absolutely. Yeah. So when I met Eli, I just popped up the ID one day. I was like, hey, you want to co-host with me some? He's like, yeah, absolutely. Right. So yeah, that's basically how it started. So he pops in and out, and it's always an honor to have him on the show.
Chris, I cannot share your feed, bro. I'm trying to share it out, but it only lets me message it. It won't let me share.
Which one are you doing it from?
Your Chris Simcoe page. And I also tried pinning the Gas podcast, and it just lets me share it, like message wise.
Huh?
That's a bummer.
That is a
bummer. Normally I can share out your feeds, but it won't let me do it on either page. I don't know what's up.
Yeah, I don't either. Let me see.
Old people in technology.
Yeah, it looks like it's not public. Way to go, Chris.
What? Hold up. Yeah, it's public.
It's Chris's fault.
It's my
fault.
Just
blame me, man. It's easier to.
There's two Chris's. That's why I said it.
It's all my fault, man. Hold up. There's people watching. There's 11 people watching it.
What's up, everybody? I don't know who's on here. Can we see who's here?
No, because ain't nobody haven't nobody commented yet.
Well, then people need to comment and say hello.
Rude.
Say hello and say what's up so we can see what's going on. John Pilarski, what's up?
Yeah,
Facebook
John.
user. I got Facebook users. Blame Glandon. I don't know who you are.
All right,
that's
hang on.
Rude.
Hang on. I'll tell you who they are here in a second.
Yeah, y'all about to be called out. Talk shit. I can't see who you are, but wait.
They didn't know they was in for this, did they?
Oh, you're gonna get called out.
That's it. So the first one was.
Oh, that was CJ. Okay.
Yep.
I can see
Miguel. What is up, Miguel? Yep. And then Yomara. Listen, I'm bad with names. So if I murder your name, I'm sorry. Dude, you're good. Dude, that's hilarious. But yeah, man. So listen, after that, so you decided to get with ProRider Tampa, and everything just took off, right? And then so
you know what it was, right? Like I bought into the motorcycle simulator, this moto trainer business right here, right? So I started doing that first, and I found an opportunity to like just do body positioning classes. And so I started going to Moto America events, I did Formula One, I started doing bike nights. And I just was getting a huge volume of people on this simulator. And I would tell people when they would get on it, I'm like, show me what you look like when you're doing 140 miles an hour going in a straight line. And they would get on the bike and I'm like, oh, that is not what you do, you know? And I'm like, if that's what you think, oh my God, let me see what you do when you turn right. And it was at that moment, I'm like, oh my God. And this was like a repetition of so many people. Like I would go to a small bike night and get 15, 20 people on the machine. Moto America, dude, Moto America events for 3 days, it was hundreds of people coming and getting on this machine. People that love to ride, and I would tell them the same thing. And I'm like, God damn, there's a metric that's starting to evolve here. And I'm like, man, there's just this basic missing piece of rider fundamental, right? From just the body positioning part. And then it came to one night I was talking to my wife, and how these freaking phones listen to everything you do. I swear to God. Yeah. I was like, I want to start a riding school. And it was like the next day, ProRider popped up, and it was like, hey, you want to start a riding school? Here it is. And I'm like, what? So I called them, and they didn't have anybody in Tampa. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to call them and see what this is about. And they were about the police level training, right? Doing the small, the parking lot drills, precision control, all that kind of stuff. And I was like, damn, I can't do that. That'd be sweet. So they sent me, I decided I was going to do it, pull the trigger. And I went up to Washington, and the Northeast Motorcycle School, Eric, oh my God, I'm going to get his name right, because this dude is a freaking machine.
Don't be like me, because I murder everybody's name.
I'm not going to murder it, dude, because I want to give him I'm going to give him a proper shout out, and I can't find him now.
Yeah, sorry. I'll just call you Jamar. Sorry, Jamar. And Alex, what's going on, Alex? He says he's watching from Sydney, Australia. Thank you so much, man.
How was it down there?
Oh, Australia, dude! I want to go to Australia bad. I have some mates that live out there. I would love to go. Have you ever been, Eli?
No.
He said no.
He chuckles. He chuckles.
He's chuckling like, hell no. What are you kidding me? That is awesome. And then, so my buddy Dustin Cornier, man, what is going on? Everybody from Talking Motorbikes. He says, dude, have you seen Green Pub at an arcade playing bike racing games?
Okay, sorry. It's Kurt Erickson, right?
Kurt Erickson.
Wow.
Kurt Erickson is the guy who coached me and trained me up in Washington, Oregon. I don't know. I stayed on the border, so it's one of those two, right? With Northwest Motorcycle School, Kurt Erickson. Dude, that guy, I didn't know what I was in for when I went to go take this 40-hour police study. This is the same class that the police officers take, minus the self-defense, gun shooting kind of shit. But the 40-hour course I took, dude, I have never done anything that hard my entire life.
Really?
Like, it was absolutely insane. It was 40 hours, 10 hours a day, nonstop riding. Like, there was no, let's go sit in the classroom. It was, as soon as the class started, it was like, here's the bike, let's go. And I'm like, fuck. This was so hard, dude. Like, I sprained my ankle because the bike fell on me the first day on my ankle, almost broke it. So I'm riding with a sprained ankle. My clutch hand just was done. I was eating aspirin and icing myself up like you wouldn't believe, just to make it through it. And then when the test comes, you've got like 325 cones. A small cone is a 3-second penalty. A big cone is a 5-second penalty. You put your foot down, it's like a 7 or 10-second penalty. And if you drop your bike, you're DQ'd. So you have to at least run to pass. It was like a 3 minutes and 45 seconds. You had to complete all 18 of these drills. And you got 325 cones. And that's the minimum, 325, right? So as we trained and got good at all this stuff, now you put the pressure on of having to go through all of this stuff without screwing anything up, without knocking anything over. Put it into perspective, the average person, you knock 5 cones over, you fail, right? So I practiced my ass off. I ended up running a 250, 255 or 250, something like that. So I did really good, 5 seconds slower than the instructor level, right? Which is good. I knocked 2 cones down also doing that process. But dude, it was the hardest thing I ever did. And so after I completed it, I had this brand new respect and humbled experience. Like, okay, Now I understand what it takes to ride like those police officers that you see doing those rodeos. Dude, I could do that stuff now. And I thought anybody, oh yeah, you've been riding forever, you can figure that out. No, you can't. It was insane, right? So I took that class, passed it, started the school, and then this mini bike thing just fell into my lap all at the same time, like right after I launched this program, right? And my friend George Revis started coaching me on these mini bikes, prepping me for track days for Jennings. And he was like, just come and do a couple days, whatever. And I'm like, all right. I came out and I was in disbelief. I was like, what is a mini bike going to teach me? You know, what the fuck is a mini bike? I was like, yeah, mini bike ain't going to teach me a fucking thing.
You're like, what the hell is this?
A Grom. I'm like, get out of here. And he, you know, he's a old school racer too, right? Like he did Cup Series. He was a really fast guy. And he's like, just come out and try it. So I went out and did it twice, and he prepped me for a Jennings day. And then I followed that fundamental, and then I met Mark 10 there. And when I met Mark 10 at that event, he was talking like George. And I'm like, what the fuck? Okay, all these two guys are talking the same way. So I'm just going to do what they say. And I did it. And it was like over the course of a few hours, all of a sudden things started clicking, things started making sense. And I'm like, damn, there's something here, right? So that's where it kind of like turned into the police training that I wanted to do. And then this mini bike coaching thing. And as soon as I started going back to George, he was like, dude, you need to build this. You need to bake this into your school. He's like, this is something nobody's doing. Mike Correa was doing the racing thing at the time, but he's like, nobody's doing street rider focused stuff, right? Like nobody in Florida does advanced, and I hate using that word. Nobody does rider development training outside of MSF, right? So I was like, all right, let's incorporate these things, and started figuring out, okay, if I do this and we start developing people, what are some pathways? Like if we get them off the street and they're like, well, this is cool, where can I go? So South Florida Mini GP was one direction that I had focused. And then as I started getting better and started taking more courses and classes and training with people, I'm like, damn, there's another opportunity here where CJ, that's commenting, talking trash right now with Legacy Track Days, like that guy has a licensing school. He's AMA chartered like me too. We have the two schools in Florida that have the AMA chartering, right? So we can sanction events. So he and I hit it off, and I'm like, all right, so now we have this going on. So I got South Florida Mini GP as a pathway for people that want to learn that direction. And then I've got the pathway to CJ for the bigger bike tracks for Jennings, Homestead, things surrounding us in Florida. I'm like, this could be a really cool thing. So it just kind of like snowballed into this gateway, right? And then as soon as I turned on my marketing, dude, it was like people were just hitting me up from all over Florida. Like, I can't find anybody that does what you do in Florida. I've called every MSF school. Nobody does advanced training. MSF will probably hate me for saying this out loud. But, dude, they don't do any advanced training classes unless they're full, you know? So it's kept snowballing. It's snowballing. And I got to the point where, like, I ran out of bikes. And then George was like, I got you. We'll get some more here. And like, we just kept scaling it up, and it turned into a thing where like every weekend I get busy with people wanting to book classes. And I'm like, all right, we have an opportunity here to turn this into a fun training experience, teaching people the fundamentals and showing street riders like that fucking 180 mile an hour bullshit on the street doesn't mean shit when you try to take a corner, you know? And it's just really turned into a really awesome experience. I've met so many cool people. Eli Block is one of them. You know,
What the hell is that?
What should I call you?
I'm Block.
Co-host Block?
No, you can call me Eli, I guess.
I guess you can call me Eli.
Yes,
Call me Daddy.
Can I call you by first name?
Call me Daddy. Oh, good stuff. But dude, that's awesome, Chris. Like, dude, what a journey. It's we need more people like you out here doing what you're doing. Absolutely, right? It's huge. It's huge for everybody. It's very important for it's hard to tell a street bike guy that thinks he knows everything that he don't absolutely don't even know how to ride properly. Not even an ounce know how to ride properly, right? Um, but they don't realize how much they can benefit by taking a class that you offer to people.
It's crazy. Like even from my short experience being down there for a little bit, helping Chris, and some people show up there, and it's just, yeah, how much experience you got? Yeah, I got like 6 years on the street. And they go out there, and it looks like they've just got on the bike for the first time in their life, and it's crazy, you know. It's
Yeah.
such a different aspect because obviously I started on the other side of the spectrum. I started on road racing, so you know I keep forgetting sometimes. It's like, you know, it's cool in the way that Chris does it. You know, it's a pretty it's a basic way to get to an advanced level quickly, if that makes any sense. It's
No, it does.
yeah, it's really cool. I like the way that we were doing it, and Chris has a good format that we were following, and it was nice to have. We talked a lot about having two people down there, so you can, you know, have one person yelling at them because I had a megaphone with me, so I was yelling at people.
Dude, it
And
was so cool. So cool. He's just like, get your head up. Oh, it was great, man.
Dude, that's so. Tell us the story on how you and Eli hooked up, Chris.
Facebook, dude. Like,
I was
I
on
don't
Facebook
even,
dating, and
huh?
Chris mashed with me, and
Yeah.
it just went from there.
Love it. It's good stuff, man.
He
Good
wouldn't get out
stuff.
of my inbox. I think it was like
Right?
love at first sight. He wouldn't leave me alone. So I was like, all right, here's my phone number. Call me. And then we just had that real good conversation, And dude, good that's where it kind of got into a good conversation. Is like knowing how to coach people is really important. There's a lot of people that say they know how to coach, and I'm not calling anyone out, right? But it's just
Yeah.
people say they know how to coach people, and so when I started talking to Eli, I'm like, all right, we'll see if this guy knows what he's talking about, and we just aligned. Like there was just immediate alignment. I asked him a lot of questions, like, "What do you do when you do this?" And he's probably like, "Who the fuck are you?" Because he's at his level, and I'm like, when you look at the levels, I'm down here
Yeah.
and he's up here, but it doesn't matter, right? It's the way that you assess people and the way that you look at what people are doing and how do you handle situations. And so I just kind of like interviewed him, and dude, he like nailed everything for the first time that I've talked to somebody outside of the people that I know. And I'm like, damn, this fucking guy actually has it. But he's got experience working with what Penguin. Uh, you
I
say the names
coached
because I don't want to butcher. I don't want to butcher them.
I coached with Penguin Road Racing School for the last 6 years. I've coached with Evolve GT for 5 years, 4 years now, and I've done like a few of the New Jersey MAGP camps. I did a South Florida MAGP camp in 2020. So yeah, I've had like coaching experience. I do like solo coaching, and I had like I did one-on-one coaching with one of the mini GP kids that lived down by me, and over like 2-3 years, we got him from just starting on a bike onto the mini cup and being able
Nice.
to compete at like a fairly high level. And he was battling for podiums, battling for top. I mean, he was almost I think he almost battled for a win this year. So I've had experience coaching all ranges from, yeah, as at Penguin and Evolve, new riders to advanced riders to kids just starting off and getting them to a certain level. So, and obviously just me, like I haven't been riding and racing for that long. I've only been racing for 7 years, 7 years. I don't even remember anymore. But it
7
hasn't
years,
been that long where
just
I still
killing it.
remember the process getting through.
Yeah. Dude, that's
But not only that though, like I want to see the other thing too. Like he's going to school for learning how to coach people too, right? And
yeah.
the level of neurology that it
Is
takes to coach the people that he's going to school for is real important. Like as a coach, you have to know how to look at and talk to and assess. And coaching, instructing, teaching, those are all part of the whole process. It's not just like trying to teach somebody to go fast is not just like, oh, twist the throttle and lean in, man. Come on, you're doing a great job. That's not what it
yeah.
is. There's a psychology behind it, and there's so many people who learn so different. And do they have mental blocks? Are they hard on themselves, or are they fear ridden? Like you have to be able to know how to look at that stuff, right?
Yeah.
And if you're gonna really help somebody understand how to do things the right way, coaching is not one of those things where you can just say, oh, I'm a fast guy, this is how you do it, because not everybody's going to be receptive and responsive to the same exact terminology and the way that you explain it, because there's emotions, dude. Like riding on a bike on a track, the emotions come out. That's why, and Eli and I talked about this too, like the process to testing somebody. We don't have the time to go out on track and do a track walk and all this kind of stuff, right? And talk about all these different things. So what I did was, I'm like, all right, I don't have time. I got 4 hours. So what am I going to do? I'm going to let you fail. And I'm going to let you fail immediately. So I'm like, here's the bike. Here's the track. Here's what we're going to do. Lead, follow. You ride this bike at your ability. You do what you know. We'll do 2 or 3 sessions. And I just let them go out. And I'm like, I'm going to follow you. You're going to follow me. I'm going to lead you around. And then I'm going to leave. And you figure this shit out. Go slow, right? And after that first session, they're like, fuck, this is fucking what? This was way harder than I thought it was going to be right out of the gate. So I don't even have to worry. I humble you down to, wow, this was way more difficult than I thought, because it's not so easy to turn on a bike. And when you make the turns hard, like real quick and short, go to Jennings, you have a lot of time to take a corner. Here, it's a hairpin that's like, whoop, So I let you fail quick. And once you fail, I think that's what Eli saw, is like the failure rate is almost instant. They go out there and they're like immediately like, oh God, I need to pay attention because I don't know what the hell I'm doing anymore.
Right.
And immediately there's no more of this ego, right? I don't have to fight the ego anymore. The ego gets killed immediately. And then it allows that humbled vulnerability to come out, where it's like, okay, now we're going to start talking about some basic stuff. And it might be the most ultimate basic thing, but let me see how you sit on the bike. And then it just gets built up over there, up from there. And then it's up to you to show me what you can do. And I'm going to eventually figure out where you are and build on you. There's no classroom. I go over theory based on what I see, right? But the whole concept is you show me what you can do. Let's get you humbled down a little bit, and then let's build you from that point, right? And when Eli and I both did it, I mean, we had full classes for 4 weeks.
Our last class was the greatest class.
Dude, this is awesome.
Oh, God, dude.
All right, let's hear the story.
Eli, go ahead. You tell us.
So, first of all, I came into it the weekend with no sleep because I just drove back from actually there's 2 weekends of that, but
let's keep it G rated, okay?
Yeah, no, the Tampa night was a different night. I came back from the Winter Throwdown racing all weekend, and I drove straight back, and I got back at like 2 a.m. Then I drove straight to Bushnell in the morning, and we get there and we have a group of 3 like normal, and we talk to them. We're like, how much time experience do you guys have? Oh, some girl, like there's 2 girls, 1 guy. It's, they don't have, 1 guy had a good amount of experience. The other 2 didn't have much experience, but, they all started pretty much at the same level. And
then we had 1 guy that was his 3rd day, right?
Yeah.
He was there. He actually bought 3 days with Eli.
No. That was a different time.
Was it?
Yeah, because he was the week before, I think.
Oh, that's right. He was.
Yeah.
He was.
But then I came in and I couldn't ride because I just broke my hand. I just broke my hand at the Winter Throwdown, and I was like, there's a whole bunch of unloading. There's a whole bunch of stuff, and I can't really do much. He's like, that's fine. Just go out there and watch. That was the worst day to go watch because that was the most running I've ever done in my life.
And then he says, do you want me to go ride? And I'm like, no, I don't want you to go ride with your broken hand. And I'm glad that I didn't, because it was just crash, 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 crash. And listen, I'm not talking trash about these people because they learned a lot, right? And I'll put it to you this way. The people that showed up were some of the most hardcore people I've ever met in my entire life, because this was the day with the 2 girls, right?
Yeah. And then the other guy, R1.
So it was two girls and 1 guy, and there was maybe 14 crashes between all, maybe more.
More,
right? It was probably more than that. We were picking him up off the ground. I got to the point where I was like, Eli, where the fuck are you? He was like, dude, I was over here. And I was like, I was over here. I'm like, where the fuck are you at? This guy's over here. We were both like just picking people up, scraping them off the ground. But see, that's the thing. You crash, you don't really get hurt that bad. You know, you fall down, you pick up, and I'm like, oh, you're fine. I'm more concerned about the bike. Is it going to last the rest of the day? You know what I mean?
How many clutch levers do I have? Jules is here.
Oh, we had one person that crashed. Had to be 7. Had to be 7 times. And you pick them up, and they're like, I'm good. I was like, great. I just ran all the way over here, picked you up.
They weren't even shaking up, dude.
No, and they just kept going out there and going faster. It was.
I won't name them off, but the 2 girls blew my mind. Like,
crazy.
Who else was there with us? Juju was there. Michael Correa and Juju were there. Dude, Juju came up to me at the end of the night and was like, dude, what the hell was that? And I'm like, I don't know. He's like, dude, those are the craziest girls I've ever seen in my entire life. You know, this is coming from a young kid. He's like, I have never seen girls just fucking get back up. Like, they were crashing everywhere. They learned a lot, though.
We had one crash and we didn't think she was going to get up.
Oh, dude, she hit so hard. I watched the crash and I was in disbelief on what I saw. And I walked over there and I was like, "Are you okay?" And she was standing. Yep. I'm like, "So, are you sure you're okay? Because what I saw, I wouldn't be okay. You'd be carrying me out on a stretcher right now. My bones would have been like." But she bounced. You know, she was just like, "Bing, bing, bing, bing." Tire wall, bike, handlebars, boom, boom, boom. I'm like, "Damn, all right." But that's another good point, right? Is like doing these mini bikes, the risk of injury is so much lower, right? When you're going slow, right? The level that we're talking about right now is slow. So when you're going fast and you get to that advanced level, the risk goes up a lot higher for getting hurt. But the level that we're at right now with this fundamental coaching, you can pretty much bounce off of everything and the injury is very limited. The bike gets hurt more than you do, right? Sure. So like all of those crashes that he got to see with me, I'm like, this was insane. I'm like, you know what? It was a great close to the story for he and I because we were both just like, what is happening right now? It was insane. But
you know what? These guys, like, that's the thing. I learned a lot my whole entire time starting racing from crashing. And a lot of people are afraid of crashing because the biggest thing, like in the 4 classes that we did together, the biggest fear of everyone was crashing. I'm scared to crash. I'm scared to crash. I'm scared to crash. These 3 did not give a flying fuck about crashing. They wanted to. It seemed like, I don't think they wanted to, but it seemed like they did because they're like, every time they crashed, they would pick it up and do it. They would go faster and then crash again. Pick it up again. They go.
I had to tell Eli, I'm like, please take her and go and talk to her. And I'll take these 2 out here. I'm like, go talk to her and make sure her head is okay. Because he knew what I meant, right? Like, you got to check to make sure that they're okay. Because some people get shell shocked. You know, I had a crash this weekend. Somebody hit one of my students and high-sided him. And he went into shock. He wasn't hurt, but the crash was just so, like, insane for him that he was just like a ghost for 10, 15 minutes and then came back. These girls, nope, didn't matter. The guy, didn't matter. It's like, I had to go and be like, "Hi, listen, can we go and just like sit down and drink some water for a second before we send you back out and do your warm-up lap again?" Because that's what they wanted. They're like, I'm fine.
I just want to ride.
It was so awesome, right? I mean, it really was.
Okay.
Because that's what this is about, right? Yeah. Like, I tell everybody when they ask about this, you know, like, what's this about? This is you being able to push your limitations and learn what the bike is going to tell you. And learning what the bike is telling you, if you don't listen to it, the front end will let go, the rear end will come around on you. If you can't stop target fixating, you're going to run off the track. Do you have a safe space to do this? And this is a great example, right? 14, 16, however many crashes, 0 injury, guys. 0 injury. That's the point that I'm trying to make here is like you can push yourself on a mini bike in the beginning and learn and train and not walk away with injury. You just slip and you slide. It's like being on a slip and slide. You wearing a full suit, you go down to 15, 20 miles an hour, or you run off the road and you hit the brakes and you get stuck in a tire wall, and you're like, that sucked. You know what I mean? But that's what happens, right? There's not serious injury happening. It's when you get to the more advanced pace level where we're doing more advanced stuff. That's where I've had people, hurting a finger or hurting an ankle. But it's not like when you go to Jennings with the same level of experience, right? And you're doing 100 miles an hour and you run off the track and then yard sale your bike and you do this. Chances of you getting injured and hurt and going away in an ambulance or a helicopter is much higher, right? That's why I like to talk about this stuff with people. It's like, don't be afraid to crash on a mini bike. South Florida Mini GP is the same way. The training there allows you to be in that race focused mentality, and the risk is much lower on a practice day. Race day is totally different, right? Everybody's out for blood and they want to get that spot. Not to say that you're going to get hurt, but the elevation of risk goes up because now everybody's in competition mode, But that practice day, I learned a lot by looking at that and looking at the training aspect. 3-day camps, man, I would tell anyone to take a South Florida Mini GP 3-day camp that's coming up soon. And I think the Herod compound this year. Isn't that where it's at?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Dude, anybody that wants to learn, that 3-day camp is top notch. You're going to learn more than you've ever learned in your life in that 3-day camp. I did it last year at Anderson, right? But the thing is like it's a reduced risk training experience.
Right.
And learning to push yourself at a slow speed and losing the front or spinning the rear rounds. I mean, I did it today. I was pacing, or actually no, yesterday. I was pacing a guy on a KO, and we were turning 107, 108s, and my rear tire on my TTR was just toast. And I went under the bridge, and the rear end just came around. And I went bowling with it. I was just like, woof. Bike came around, slammed into the tire wall, and I slid into the grass. And I turned around, and thank God there was nobody behind me. And I got up, jumped on the bike, and rode away.
That's awesome. Yeah,
that's the experience, right? Like, push your limits, learn your threshold, and work with people that can help you push through those things. That's the goal, right? And I think Eli and I both had a really good experience with all those people that signed up and came to us, because we had so many people doing that. Then they're getting back up. Okay, what did I do wrong? All right, this is what you did wrong. And we go out and we fix it. And that doesn't happen again, but then they hit another threshold. Oh, your body position sucked that time. You're not target fixating, but now your body position sucks. And you know what I mean? Like, it's a really cool way to teach people those limits where you can't do that on the street, and you damn sure aren't going to do that easy on the big track.
No, absolutely not. There's a lot more risk involved on a big track and street for sure, right?
Oh, God,
yeah, and then I'm sure the approach to everybody's different, right? Because everybody learns in their own particular way. So you got to feel your way around. Well, this guy, learns better this way, right? I'm sure everybody's definitely different. It says we actually got a couple comments. So David Gonzalez, what is going on? He says everybody thinks they know.
What's up, David?
Until they don't. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And then track riding with Rich. Sorry.
What's up, Rich?
Yep. He says street guys need to get to the track to save their lives. Look at Eli playing with his stuff. Look at him. Look at him.
Where's those sideways pictures? Give us some of that sideways action.
Hold on, I got more.
I know you got some sideways action in there.
And then
dude, he took that 400 sideways coming over the bridge at Bushnell.
That's awesome.
Just
Eli's
all the way down. I see the super motard guys doing that. I don't really see the dudes on 400s doing that. Yeah. Eli had no problem making it look simple. I'm like, dang.
Dude. And listen, CJ says it's been a love affair ever since you and him met. Yeah.
Oh, dude, man, you know what? CJ's
awesome.
So my friend Kyle Wood introduced me to CJ back when I was doing the moto trainer thing. And, I used to ride with Kyle Wood back in the day. And he was like, I got somebody that I want you to talk to. And he put us in a chat messenger. And it was just like too hot for Facebook conversation. And I'm like, I like these people. These are my people. Like, it was just all shit talking motorcycle crap, you know? And it's like, I like these people. And like, I've been progressing throughout all this time, and CJ's been just kind of watching. And like, as I developed my school, I started getting all these different things happening, like, you know, getting the USMCA certification and then moving on to AMA, getting the AMA charter. Like, I can hold the sanctions, and he's the only other school I know of in Florida that can do that. So as soon as those things happened, like, he reached out and was like, okay, so you're doing something right for AMA to be paying attention. You know, they don't just approve, you know, anybody to do stuff, right? But the channel that I'm taking is a niche that nobody has really pursued. You know, I'm focused on the street riders. I don't care if you ride a Harley. I don't care if it's a street bike. I'm sorry, a Harley, a sport bike. It doesn't matter. You know, CJ's focus has been race license, rider development, track focus, right? And he's done very well and been very successful there. But nobody has spent the time trying to appeal to the street guys. You know, Michael Correa's got the South Florida Mini GP going on, but that's a race inspired side. Nobody picked that niche for the street. So as soon as that happened, it just started opening up doors. And CJ and I just have been sitting back talking about all this stuff for years now. Same with Mark 10. They both kind of been mentoring me through this on, here's what we see, you know, and here's what you see on the street level. Like, how do we connect these dots together? You know, and it's like, now it's we're connecting pathways. Like, I'm kind of a gateway of showing people, like, this is what we do, and here's the South Florida Mini GP route, and here's the Legacy Track Days route. You know, and hopefully people can move their way up to chasing Eli one day.
Yeah, right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and right, dude. You'll 100%, CJ. You will learn more in one day at the track than a year on the street. It is. You know, we've all been there. I've been there. You know, on the street. Hey, I'm gonna go out here and drag my knees 150 miles an hour. It's fun. I ain't gonna lie, right? In the moment it is, but there's so much risk involved. Like, I'm glad I'm here today for some of the dumb shit I used to do on the street. You know,
we're all lucky.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing, right? Well, once I found the track, yeah, I rode less on the street, but also when I did ride on the street, it made me so much more aware, right? It really did, and it really helped me out. It made me feel more safe, if that makes sense, right? More in control of my machine, and I actually knew what I was doing instead of just think I knew what I'm doing, you know, with my new leather suit on. Oh, dude, I just drug my knee. Check it out. You know, all that Squid Games, you know, we used to play back in the day, right?
It's a false sense of security, right?
It's a very false, dude, because listen, dude, if you never put a full leather suit on, when you do put it on, you feel like Superman, like, or Batman. It's no bullshit. You're like, I can do anything. You know,
and then you see a guy on the street wearing a full suit with no mark on it, and it's like, man,
you suck. Oh, sorry.
Here comes Eli out the woods with the big old. You suck.
Honest. Yeah. Be honest. Suck.
You suck.
Have a mark on it. You suck. But you know, that's kind of what it is. It's that false sense of security, man.
It is.
I got to meet Mark 10 this past weekend.
Dude, I've been trying to talk with Mark, man. I would love to have a chat with him.
I was really hoping that we could have brought him on for one of these. We're gonna get him.
We'll get him for sure.
We're gonna have to massage him.
Yes.
Mark 10's gonna need some massaging. Even though he can talk, dude, he's one of those guys where, dude, he's a great talker. You know, I wish that we could do it in a form. Maybe what we should do is maybe we can get him on a recorded video.
That's what I was gonna say. We won't go live with him. We'll just do it. It'll just be us talking, and I'll record it, and it won't be live.
That dude will blow your mind.
And then I can put it out.
If you got CJ and Mark 10 on a call and talking, dude, you need 4 hours to talk to both of those guys at the same time.
We can definitely do part 2, 3, and 4 for sure, 110%. And you know, I've already talked to CJ, man. He told me I already invited him on. He said he'll come on. He's just super busy right now, and I just told him to let me know when he has some time, and we'll sort it out. and we will, because I'm definitely looking forward to talking to him and Mark. Yeah, for sure. And there's several times where me, you, and Mark were supposed to sit down and chat. But yeah,
Yeah.
good stuff, man. Good stuff. David Gonzalez, so he says, "What's going on, Chris?"
What's up, David? Dude, he's been supporting me quite a bit too, man. I like the people that are watching have been fully in support of what I'm doing. Um, I had some good comments before this even started. Like people were like, "Hey, we're gonna watch and listen and tune in, all this kind of stuff." It's been really cool, man. I like the growth of everything that's going on.
Yeah, man,
The
absolutely.
support, bro. I could not do this without all of the people that are standing behind me, dude. Like I've got Blake O'Burney, I think is how you say his last name, with Ducati Tampa Bay. Like those guys have been in full support. They've allowed me to host my body positioning classes with the motorcycle simulator there. Um, they funnel a ton of business from Ducati over to the training program. The guys at Andre Crest and Mike over at Corsa Motorworks in Clearwater, those guys, I've known them for, God, 12, 15, something odd years now. Like, we've all known each other since the early days of riding at the street. And, those guys too, like they invited me out to one of their training days at Jennings, and I brought the simulator out and we did some novice training on it. Like, it's just really cool to get involved in all these little niches and all these people supporting these new ways of training. Like, there's so many old school ways of doing stuff, and like there's so much new things happening and so many new organizations offering programs. Yamaha Champ School is one, but we've got the Motorcycle Academy project. I trained with those guys. They're in Europe. They're MotoGP electronics and mechanical engineers that put together a program called MAP. It's Motorcycle Academy project. I took their class. You want to get your mind blown? Go take a class with those guys. It takes a little bit, and it's a bunch of crazy high level stuff, but you're going to learn so much from those guys. Camino Coaching for the mindset side. Like, these are all the people that I worked with, and I've taken their classes and studied with them and like learned from these guys, which helps me coach my students, right? Like, I've invested a lot of money and time in learning all these concepts, and whether it's application, mindset, you name it. Half that shit they talk about, I can't do. Eli can probably do like this much of it, but
there it is. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, it's the Moto Trainer, man. That's something I always wanted to try. I seen one in Jersey, man, and I forget what the guy charged. I want to say it was like $20 for.
He did have one there.
Yeah. The guy had one over there on the far corner. I forget. I want to say it was like $25 for a couple minutes, 10 minutes, maybe, if that sounds right. I can't remember off the top of my head. But I always was interested in.
Usually do it by lap.
Okay, well, lap. There you go.
Usually do it by lap. It's like they'll charge like
maybe it was for 3 laps or whatever.
5 laps, and we'll do like a quick body positioning coaching kind of thing.
But I finally got when I met Mark 10. That was when
his name is Kevin, by the way. I wish Apex Racing.
Yeah.
Apex Racing. I'm trying to give him a shout out because he's actually a really good dude, and I actually helped him get started with his old project. Let me see if I can find it real quick.
Go ahead, Eli. What was you just saying?
Yeah, I was saying when I met Mark 10, that was also my first weekend at Jennings as well. I was trying to tell Chris that, but he's too busy looking at porn on his phone.
Yeah, right.
I'm sorry. Say it again. Bad.
Midget or BBW?
Midget.
Definitely a midget.
Midget.
Oh, I love it, dude. This is good stuff. And dude, CJ, you're right. He says every motorcycle coach should get U.S. Motorcycle Coaching Association certified.
USMCA. Dude,
USMCA.
If you are a coach or an instructor, okay, and I'm going to touch on this because it's super important, man. Like, if you're going to coach and you want to learn how to do the basics, USMCA will not only walk you through all of that because you have to take some tests. you do have to have some coaching experience. You do have to pass a background check. You have to take the concussion class, the heat wave class, so you can tell if somebody's fucking, in Florida especially, like the heat wave class, which teaches you how to look for issues and teach people hydrate and all these different things. You have to go through all these certifications and learn how to ask certain questions, test your riders, figure out their knowledge, but also they teach you some basics on how to set up a training day, And if you want to learn how to do that, USMCA is great for that. And once you get the certification and you are actually working as a coach, they offer the insurance to back you, so you can get that certification and hold insurance to protect yourself if something goes on, right? Yeah. So USMCA is a great organization to work with, and they have an awesome program. If you want to get into it just at the entry level, that's a great place to start, because just like Yamaha Champ School, right? They have the theory and all the terminology and the know-how for that side of it, of teaching riders all of the information. USMCA is a great place to go to learn how to instruct and coach and teach at the basic level. They teach you the fundamentals. And once you get it and you're going to actually actively coach, they offer insurance. So anybody that hears that, man, USMCA is a great place to go. And then the next level is, the AMA side of things, which, CJ and I both have too.
Yeah, dude. So my man, Cody Cochran, Cody, the world conqueror, we had him on, dude. I'm looking forward to having him on again. He says, Chris is a stud. I'm at work, so I can't hear, but I wanted to say,
Cody.
Thanks, Cody.
Thanks,
Cody's
bro.
awesome, man. Yeah, dude. Cody's awesome.
Thanks, buddy.
And then CJ, man, I should just send CJ the link and just have him jump in here with us.
Dude, tell him to jump in if you want to.
CJ, you
bring him
in. Yeah, CJ.
Bring CJ in.
Listen, if CJ wants to join, I can send him the link. All he's got to do is say yes.
What I was saying was, when I met Mark 10, that was my first time actually going to Jennings, so I finally went.
Can you repeat that?
I'm just going to jump off a bridge at this point. All right.
That was such a short.
Can you hear me?
I love it.
Yes.
Okay. So when I met Mark 10, that was also my first time I finally went to Jennings.
Oh, now I understand what you're saying. Sorry, I'm slightly slow today. My bad. Sorry you're not fuzzy right now.
What?
I understand what you're saying, though. Okay, so first time at Jennings, first time you met Mark 10.
Yeah, I was telling you because I know we were talking about – you telling me I should meet him.
Yeah. What did you think about Mark 10?
He's a cool guy.
Yeah?
Definitely helped when I gave him a rim that I was
needed a tire.
Testing, and no, I gave him my rim, and I just want to get double checked.
What?
Do you want this closed?
Yes, I do.
Mommy said that.
Can you close that, please?
Okay.
Thanks, buddy. Close the door.
CJ, I sent you the link. All you got to do is click on the link in Facebook Messenger, and it'll bring you right in the studio.
Damn.
Boy, my son is like, pay attention to me. Slam.
Dude, listen, that's my son's 11, bro, and it's the same way. It's always he's got to have 110% of my
He just got out of the shower and he came in with his hair like this. He's like, Daddy, do you want the door closed? Yes. And then he wants to keep talking. I'm like, close the door.
But no, we had a problem where my first session our rim was cracked. Like man, completely cracked in half.
Oh no.
How did you do that?
I don't know. It was just like that when I started riding. I didn't know that until I came off track.
So who are you riding with?
Like
that event?
It was the Mike Jones racing. We were testing the Triumph for Daytona.
Oh, okay.
And look at this. What is up, CJ?
What's up, CJ?
Turn the light back on.
I don't know whether to turn my light on or not.
Turn your light on so we can see
the dark.
Your beautiful face.
He says stay in the dark.
I'm in the darkness. It's like Metallica.
You have like a shadow, like you're a half a ninja right now. Like
you are a half a ninja.
You're a half ninja. There you go.
There he is.
Yeah. I want to see that pretty face.
You know you love it.
We do.
All those gray bearded ones, and then Eli with his pretty little brown facial hair.
Thank you. Thank you.
I think he's red. I think he's a red.
Don't be calling me a
He's a
ginger.
red. He's a
ginger.
Don't be calling me a ginger.
That's awesome.
I didn't call you a ginger. I said brown.
Well, at least CJ has respect.
Well, in my picture, it looks brown, so you're just gonna have to deal with brown.
I'm good with brown. I'm good with brown.
Well, when the sun hits it,
it gleams red.
Well,
Yeah.
I'll do this. I'll do this.
It beams. It beams out into your face. See, just
Oh,
like that.
yeah, look at that.
Yeah,
Wow.
look at that.
It's so
Ow.
bright. Ouch! Like
Carrot.
wait till the sun hits it. You're like, damn it.
Carrot face.
So that bridge idea sounds pretty good right now.
So, like I'm sitting here watching this whole thing, and it's good times.
I need
yeah,
10
dude.
seconds. I'll be right back.
No, go ahead. Go
CJ,
ahead.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, CJ, dude. Yeah,
All right.
listen.
10
We need
seconds?
to schedule you for a podcast too here soon.
I'm down. I just we got to find a time that works because I work.
know.
I'm like the Trinidad guys from In Living Color, where like I'm delivering pizzas while driving a limo and running a body to the morgue at the same time.
Yeah, I get it, man. I get it. My schedule stays pretty freaking stacked too, man. Yeah, because I'm.
Well,
Do you do track days?
well, what sucks is do what?
Do you do track days for small or big bikes?
Well, I mean, your version of small and my version of small might be different.
Minis or big?
Pretty much 250 and up.
Okay. So you do
250 and up, 12 years old and up. We're one of the only track days. There's a few, but one of the only ones this side of the country that will actually let a 12-year-old on track as long as they have prior experience. So, like, if Michael Correa from SFL sends me, somebody that wants to do on-track training for the big track, because I've been tight with Michael since he started SFL. Many years ago, almost 10 years ago now. I've put Julian through our program, our race school. There's Belladonna Brittany, she's been through my race school, and about 348 other people. I think honestly, since I started my race school, which I initially started while I was still connected to another organization, but it was still Legacy Track Days. But it was another organization's school, but I was running it. And then I finally decided that I wasn't going to do that anymore. So I switched gears. I redid the curriculum, cleared everything with WIRA and with CCS Azra when Kevin was still with us. And, 350 total graduates from 2015 to now, and all over the East Coast, from Florida all the way up to New York Safety Track in Oneonta, New York. It's been a journey. I've been on motorcycles and four-wheelers and whatnot since I was 7 years old. I got my first street bike when it was in like 1992 or 93. I had no license. I had no experience. I jumped on a street bike, drove around what used to be a company called Heckingers, that is pretty much bought out by Home Depot. But in the Mid-Atlantic area, my buddy worked for the bike shop. The girl I was dating at the time wanted me to have a motorcycle, and obviously I wanted me to have a motorcycle, so she bought it. And yeah, exactly.
Win-win, baby.
We went into the parking lot, and I think I drove around the parking lot for like 15 minutes, and then was like, all right, I'm good, I'm out. And what's funny is, so I never took a motorcycle road course. My driving license for my car, because I was always a hot rod kid, it got suspended. And I went and I drove for like 3 or 4 years with a suspended on a motorcycle, but without a motorcycle license. Everything was insured. I just didn't have a license. And then I went, after my driver's license got suspended, I went and I applied to get my license reinstated. I did all the work. I, did the safety classes, whatever, for my car, blah, 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 all that BS. And I put on there that I wanted to add the motorcycle endorsement because I wanted to get, you know, the learners and go through the process. And they screwed up and put the motorcycle endorsement on my license without me ever going through the school, and no one vetted it. So I never had to take a road course, but I rode on the street for 17 years. And I did so much dirty squid stuff. And it was crazy. And then a buddy of mine was like, hey, come do this track day with me. And, you know, I was one of the better riders of our street friends. I mean, we had 20 or 30 guys that we rode with every week. And me and my buddy, who was already racing and doing track days, dragged me to this track day. And I'm thinking, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to just slay it. And dude, I watched, so all day long I'm doing this track day. And the last session of the day that I rode, my buddy followed me around on his race bike. And I was on just a bone stock streets GSXR 600 taped up and all that nonsense. And he followed me around, and I watched that video now. It's on my YouTube page. I watched that video now, and there's so many cringe moments where I'm confident I was going to die. And that was after a whole day. Like, I was like, dude, I was so bad that I use that as a reference point video when I'm teaching people. I'm going, okay, watch this. All right, this is when I thought I was good. And then I show them my coaching video where I go, okay, now watch this video. This video was 3 years later, and I was training to be a racer. And I'm like, watch the differences on the same track. And I watch the students that are watching this video, and they're just like, and I'm cringing while I'm watching it. So, you know, like, I coached for a track day organization in the Mid-Atlantic that had been around forever, Roger Lyle Motorcycle Excitement. I coached for him after doing track days for a couple of years with him, and I became a coach. And then I got my, you know, license, or I got my certificate through them. And then I moved to Florida, and I was trying to work something out with him to open up a branch of Motorcycle Excitement in Florida, but his wife got sick and things were just not, you know, financially it was a bad idea for him. So I came down, and I was watching another track day organization, which I won't name. And it was a total shit show from the minute I got there to the minute I left. And I looked at my wife and I said, honey, we could do this. With all my coaching background and already being a racer and having a lot of experience, I was like, we can do this. And it took me a little while. I want to say it was a little less than a year before I started Legacy. I started Legacy in June of 2014. And in 2015, my program got recognized by the AMA, and we had to sit down with the AMA, and I wrote up basically a structure that no one had ever come to the AMA to try and sanction a track day before. And they were like, I don't know why no one's ever done this. I said, I don't know why either, but I'm glad to be the first. And I am still now the first and fully sanctioned track day organization by the AMA. I'm a full charter. I've been working with them since 2015. Ken Salant, who's not only the head of race direction for AMA, but is also the head of licensing and all that stuff for Moto America. He and I talk regularly. You know, I'm very dialed into the vaccine of the racing community. I'm a CCS, well, not CCS anymore, an ASRA, and we're a school, and I've had schools that have been accepted, you know, my certificate across the country. I think there's like 5 different race organizations that are club level in the country. And I've also got a couple of guys that graduated straight out of my school into Moto America. And I'll use one perfect example. Cole King, who's a super hooligan and a bagger racer, had no asphalt experience at all when he came to me. I worked out a deal. He wanted to go to Moto America and do super hooligans. Phil Saberna from CCS ASRA contacted me, put me and Cole together, and he went through my school, did a weekend of racing with CCS and ASRA, and then immediately went to Moto America. And I had people in my ear going, oh, this is a bad idea. I'm like, listen, this guy's an X Games finalist. This guy's a flat track champion. This guy's a motocross champion. He has the knowledge to ride. all he needed was somebody to show him how to get around a racetrack and figure out how to figure out the lines and the body position and the fundamentals of riding on a racetrack. So after spending a weekend with me, he goes out, and I think his first season, which was 2 or 3 years ago at this point, was like top 9 out of 26 bikes in his first season. I call that a win. You know, like to have no asphalt experience and go straight into pro and then place inside the top 10 in your first season, he did well. And on an underpowered bike too. He was on a KTM 790 Duke. There were guys out there with the big 890 and bigger bikes that were just way more powerful than his, and he still went out there and placed in a top 9. So I mean, he's just an example. But I mean, I've worked with riders and racers from across the board. I've been in the paddock with Jordan Motorsports. I've worked for several other teams. I've worked with several other teams. I've worked with several other riders, and it's just, you know.
Oh, who got Martin to join? Who said that?
Who said that? Because it wasn't.
Who said that? Who got Martin to join?
Hang on. Let me, dude. I murdered the name earlier.
Yarmari. I think it's Yarmari.
Yarmari.
Yeah.
It's pronounced Jamari.
Jamari.
It's pronounced. Yeah, it's Jamari.
Yeah.
Come on now, pay attention to your feed, Chris.
Hey, it says it doesn't give me a name. It just says
doesn't.
Facebook user.
Not you, Chris. The other Chris.
Hey,
stop yelling at me, CJ.
Yeah, CJ, stop yelling at me.
Yeah, stop yelling, man.
Stop yelling at the Chris's.
Hey,
rude.
Hey, don't make me Rick Hens all this.
You're gonna get 2 problems when you start yelling at the Chris's.
Hey, both of y'all, shut up. I need a question.
Shut up,
Don't make me cap locks everything and start doing a Rick Hens on you.
Oh, God, not that big.
Dude, CJ gets all angry and he starts like texting on the internet. One finger typing in caps lock, and I message him like, "Why are you so mad? Like, why are you so mad? Everything is all freaking."
I got to put the right emphasis on the right syllable.
I'm like, Jesus Christ, man.
So
I got to put the right emphasis.
Next track day.
All right. So right now, basically what happened was, so last year, we'll fast forward through all the nonsense. Last year, I was supposed to race Moto America, and I was going to do a handful of events. And I got rear-ended in a car accident by some chick who was talking on her cell phone. And it screwed my whole season. I could barely even sit on a bike. So 9 months of physical therapy and law courts and doctors and all this. So I didn't do anything really other than like, some little like person-to-person coaching, nothing on the bike, just talking to people and trying to help them get along and get past their demons on the bike. And that's when Chris and I really got serious, and Mark and I got serious, and we all really started sharing information like hardcore to try and improve what was going on, to bolster Chris's organization and to try and grow that pathway. So what we've been talking about, and I've also been talking with the USMCA, and actually it's funny, I talked to Dave Schwartz today about putting stuff in the track day directory, is we're trying to get some confirmation on some weekdays to do 1-day rider development days. I don't have anything concrete yet, but it is coming. And we're basically going to use our collective pathway of contacts to try and build it up. It's probably not going to be big, but or at least not right away, but we're going to keep it small so that way we can manage the groups properly and keep the safety level at maximum. And that way riders get the most education and safety while getting the most track time, because the one thing that AMA does love about my organization, and I get told that regularly, and Chris, you even commented when I got my safety and service awards from the AMA for 2023, was that my level of red flags in my organization is so low. There are organizations that have as many in a day that I have in a season. And that's, scary to think about. But the reality is we want to make sure that it's the safest situation possible for these riders. I'm also in talks with Precision Track Days because both of the guys that do that, at least one of the guys, I think both of them took my school before they started their organization. So it's kind of, funny to think about the how close this community is, and how many people I've actually been able to reach out and communicate with, and been somehow a part of so many people's journeys. I mean, all the way up to SDK. I sponsored SDK from the time he was 12 to the time he went to GP, or Moto 2 anyway. And at that point, I didn't have the budget to sponsor him anymore. Once he got into that big boy paddock, there was not a whole lot my pocket could do. But Sean's come out and coached. Sean's worked with my school, and but it's that level. So the goal, hopefully, I think it'll probably start off as like a once every other month thing, unless the first month or two look really good. The goal is to do a single day rider development and road racing school day, at least once a month, every month for the entire year. That's the goal. Whether that's going to happen this year or next year, I don't know.
So CJ, just give people a little bit more of an in-depth understanding of what rider development means to you, right? Because I've had this conversation with a lot of people. I've had this conversation with Mr. Block, the doctor over here too. When we talk about rider development, give your perspective on what that actually is. So the people listening and the people that watch this later on understand what that actually means. Right.
So the way the rider development program is going to work, and obviously it's something new for us, but it's not. We've kind of been doing it all along with our novice group, because I've been running 4 groups since the day I opened the door. We've adjusted the structure a little bit. It used to be Group 4 was racers only. Now Group 4 is expert racers and pro level only, and then Group 3 is our advanced track day rider and amateur racer, and then we do an intermediate coached and a novice coached. But what rider development means to me is first evaluating where every rider that signs up for the course is from the start. So kind of like Chris's ideology of let them fail right away. You're gonna start off sitting in a classroom. You're gonna start off talking about what you know and the generic fundamentals, because obviously you don't want to hand a new or novice rider a ton of higher level information too soon, because then they wind up trying to apply something that they just simply don't have the knowledge or the coaching to do it at the beginning stages. So there's one of the things I had a conversation with Cody about was, I'm not going to send a novice rider out and tell him, hey, go trail brake in this corner. That's not something I'm going to do right off the gate. First, I want you to learn how to get around the track. First I want you to learn what reference points are, and what, knowing how to identify entry, apex, and exit based on the speed you're going, because obviously depending on the speed you're going is going to adjust where your exit is. Entry is almost always the same, not 100% of the time, but it's almost always the same. And apex is always the same. But you can teach people how to late apex. You can teach people, late braking. You can teach people different exit points, because obviously the faster you're going, your exit points are going to change. So when you're teaching the fundamentals of track riding, you want to do it in baby steps. You want to do it in, pick a quadrant, break the track up into 4 different sections. Now I want you to work on just these sections. And also the other thing is fixed gear training, where you're teaching somebody how to go around the track in a singular gear, so that way they don't have to think about, when do I shift? Or do I pull my clutch in here? Or no, just put it in first, go out. By the time you get through X, Y, or Z turn, I want you in 3rd or 4th gear, and you're going to stay there. And then you're going to lead me out. You're going to show me where you go. And then I'm going to pass you, and I'm going to show you where I go. And you're going to follow me. And we're going to do that on and off throughout the day. And we're going to add little hiccups and add little challenges and add things to the equation that are going to help your racer and rider knowledge expand. Because most people that come through the doors as a new track rider come through the doors with this mindset that you can't teach them anything and there's nothing they don't already know. And it's the conversation that you guys.
It's that CJ, let me interject. It's that
For sure.
I'm the fastest guy in my group. I've been riding for 15 years. Like I just got it down. And they have this ego, right?
Yeah,
100%. You're not gonna teach them anything. And like, that's why I talk about the way that I let people fail. But as soon as I let them fail, that's when those fundamentals start. And like what CJ just said, like I work through the ultra basic body positioning to make sure you're holding onto the bike, your feet are on the bike, your knees are holding onto the bike, right? Like how do you do the upper body stuff? So many people don't understand all that, And then those fundamental processes, they lead into, okay, now we're going to do, once you get the basics, now we're going to do throttle drills. Now we're going to stick to one gear. And those exact things that he's talking about, I learned that early on with George Rivas and Mark 10 when I did events with these guys. They're like, here's what I want you to do. And I'm like, okay, I heard that before. I did the same thing. So I give people the same exact fundamental concepts that we do on the mini bike. They can take that shit to any track they go to, whether it's Jennings, whether it's Homestead, whether it's Coda. Stick to one gear, learn that throttle control, get yourself figured out, and then we'll expand and build on it. And if you can't figure it out in one gear, right? You have no business touching the brakes. You have no business doing any of these other things, because I call it corner management, right? And under corner management is all these different things.
All right, Eli. Appreciate it, buddy.
Peace, guys.
Later, Eli.
Hey, bro. But I call that the corner management, right? So under that is corner speed, it's corner confidence, it's spatial awareness, it's all these different things. Depth perception, all these different concepts kind of follow suit to it. But the easiest way to talk about those things is doing a third gear drill and just doing throttle control and learning how to manage your corner speed. Because until you learn how to manage your corner speed in some of these corners, it doesn't matter how fast you come up to a corner. If you can't manage it, it doesn't matter anymore. And CJ is talking about the same kind of things too with the things that he does with his organization. It's all fundamental concepts. How do you teach people those basics that translate over? You know what I mean? Those are the things that people don't truly understand. And that's what we're trying to get people to understand.
Sorry, CJ, we lost you there for a minute.
That was my fault. I was fucking around with my phone and I accidentally kicked myself off the chat.
No, you're good. You're good. But yeah, listen, you guys, there's a lot. So CJ, how can people find you and sign up for your school?
So right now, the easiest thing is I got to update my website. I have a website. It's legacytrackdays.com and it's DAYZ. But right now, I do all the managing of everything. And so like, it's so much easier to manage all my socials than it is to manage the website and my socials and my day job and my night job and prepping for Moto America and doing all the things that I'm doing. Cause I told you, I've like got so much crap going on. It's super hard to stay focused sometimes. So I always forget to update the website, and I get people like signing up for an event that was like 4 years ago and it's still on the page. And I send them emails. I'm like, hey, just so you know, that was an old event. We're not doing that. Thank God they're not sending me money in the process as well. But I try and, contact everybody. But you can Google search Legacy Track Days. There's a Facebook group called Legacy Track Days Forum. And then there's a Facebook business page, which is just Legacy Track Days. And then there's also, hey, Chris, Mike's calling me right now on my other phone.
Mike,
the guy that you sent to me.
Oh, is he?
Nice.
Yeah,
He's
I'll call
probably
him back.
watching this too. He should be like, "Hello, you should be on
Yeah.
the."
I'll call him back.
You're
Mike,
supposed
if
to
you're
be
watching, chime in.
Hello.
But pretty much everything on social media, and then my race team also has a page. It's LTD Racing Team. There's an LTD Racing, and then there's an LTD Racing Team. Mine is LTD Racing Team. Obviously, LTD stands for Legacy Track Days, and that's on all the socials. So Facebook, Instagram. I've got a Twitter page. I've got a YouTube page. I don't do a ton on the YouTube page. I upload riding videos and I use them as reference points when I'm doing classes and stuff like that. But the best way is on social media, and Google. And you can message me straight through Google, my Google profile, for Legacy Track Days. I get tons of people that, ask me about licensing for street, and I just turn them over. If they're willing to go across the state, I turn them over to Chris to turn them over, because I don't have any MSF contacts over here. And to be fair, like I don't dislike the MSF. I think the MSF has a lot of potential. I think they need to evolve with the times. They're handing out a lot of old information.
Talk about some stuff there too, because I got some pretty.
Yeah, I think the MSF needs to evolve, and I'm sure a lot of the people that I know that are riders, and I mean, I'm friends with some 5,000 people on Facebook, and then 10 or 15,000 people that follow me between all my social sites, and a lot of them are MSF coaches that want to evolve themselves to be better coaches, but that also want opportunities to actually coach, because you're really stuck in a rut with how MSF wants you to do things. And I don't necessarily agree with all of their stuff.
Yeah,
but
let me talk on that too, because the MSF curriculum, the schools, they're very specifically curriculum based, right? So they have very specific core processes that they have to fight. Did we just lose Chris?
No. Oh yeah, I think we did.
Yeah, he's gone. It's a good thing that
well, we're still here.
Well, hello. So anyway, yeah, I guess like to touch on that, he'll probably be back. So like the MSF side, and you and I've talked about this too. Those coaches are limited on like what they can do and what they can talk about, because they have to follow the book, and that's one of the reasons why I started my school to begin with, is that I'm not governed by anybody, right? And I say not anybody, it's no body, no governing body. Nobody can tell me how I have to coach people. So it gives me the ability to assess, teach, and coach somebody based on where they're at, and not read a script in a book and say, do this, do that. It's like,
exactly.
No, here's where you're at. Let me teach you where you are, fix your bad habits, fix all the stuff that you've been doing wrong for, maybe it's 2 years, maybe it's 20 years. You know how many people I meet that have been riding for 20 years and like, man, I didn't even know this. And I'm like, well, it's because you started out with MSF and then you met some street riders and that's what you learned, right? But the MSF side, so I want to talk on this because it's really important, right? So I've been in conversations with USF in Qatar, which is the Center for Urban Transportation and Research and Development, right? They're the ones that work with, FDOT and all these different organizations. And I approached them and said, hey, I want to work with you guys. Like, how can I work with you? Because you guys are in the forefront of motorcycle training and motorcycle safety and awareness and programs and all this kind of stuff. So it's been 6 months now, and I finally got to the next stage where I'm actually going to be interviewing next week with USF to potentially start working directly with them in Qatar. And if I can start working directly with Qatar, it'll give me the opportunity to kind of do some expert consulting and learn kind of what's going on with these organizations, right? Like MSFs and FDOTs and the Florida Highway Safety, whatever it is, like gives me the opportunity to start having real conversation, because they're very curious about working with other people, and they know that their instructors need some further developments, and they know that the programs need some further developments. And so, I've had so much success with what I'm doing. And I mean, I can't make it up. Go and look at the reviews, right? Listen to the people that come to my school. Look at the people that keep coming back, right? Like, there's a reason why that's happening. It's no force. It's people show up, they have a good time, they learn a lot. I'm coming back, And so that track record is starting to show. And so these bigger organizations are starting to get an interest of, okay, what is going on here? Like, why is this working out so well? I look at it as this, right? So Total Control, Lee Parks, I have his book. I read it. I've been following him for a long time. He's over in California. That dude did so good that he superseded MSF in California. And now Total Control is the curriculum that they teach. And funny story, MSF's headquarters is in California. And Lee Parks was just like, bye, I'm doing better stuff, right? Like, that's how powerful doing things the right way can be. Lee Parks took over, not took it completely over, but he took over a large portion of the motorcycle training side from MSF. They're headquartered in California. He's starting to move into other states, with the things that myself and CJ and everybody else are trying to do. And there's a lot of people behind the scenes that, are not in this conversation right now that feel the same way. It's like, we keep doing the right thing and we can start making some impact. We plug into the right people, which is what we're doing right now. We're USMCA, AMA. I'm working on USF and Qatar and trying to get FDOT to pay attention to what we're doing. CJ's got his hands out in all different places. We're just trying to get people to watch what we're doing, because it's a fundamental process. This is nothing crazy, nothing technical, Like, I was asked one day in a meeting, they're like, well, are you trying to teach people how to go faster? No, I'm trying to teach people how to learn how to ride the right way. Is learning how to ride the right way, is the result of that learning how to go faster? Yeah, because you have the confidence, the skill set, and the know-how. But that doesn't mean that you're going to be the fastest guy on the street. It just means that now you're safer, gives you the ability and the confidence to do these things, right? But
let me interject real quick too.
Lowell is doing this on the street. Yeah, go ahead.
So in conjunction with what you're saying, and this is a conversation that Mark and I have had, Mark 10 and I, repeatedly, is, so for the longest time, the question was, what does your road racing school offer? And I'm like, well, you got to understand that there's a difference. And Mark said it as clearly and the best way that made sense was, the difference is, with a road racing school, my job isn't to teach you how to ride. Obviously, like, I'll take you out on track, we'll work on some stuff and make sure that you understand the fundamentals. But the road racing school really is about the ethics and the etiquette on track and in the paddock. But the difference between rider development and a road racing school is, the reason why we do rider development is because that's where we teach you the proper way to deal with your equipment. And it's got to start at the earliest stages of your riding, whether it be you're new to the track, you're new to the street, whatever it is, because one of the biggest arguments that I hear is, like Chris was saying, oh, I've been riding the street for 20 years. Okay, well, you've got 20 years of bad habits that I now have to break, because you came to the table with this mentality that because you've been riding for 20 years, you know what you need to know, but you don't. And I mean, that was a perfect example of my first track day. I was a great street rider. I was a horrible track rider. And I figured that out on my first day. And it cemented the concept in my head that just because I'm really good on the street does not make me really good in any other scenario. So riders need to learn and understand, and that's what Chris and I and Mark and all of these other exceptional schools and coaches are trying to do is we're trying to break you of the bad habits so that we can actually teach you.
And
It's no big deal.
He just said something really important too, right? Like I was that street guy and I was a really good street dude. And then these guys I met were like, you need to come to the track. This was 2010. And I went and rode the track and I learned from them. And I did a handful of track days back in those days. And then I took a long period of time off. And then I started doing this a few years ago. And then I went back to Jennings. The skill set that I acquired after all of this training and all of these things that I've done up until this point, when I went back to Jennings, I was a totally different rider. And Mark 10 was there with me, sitting in my paddock talking with me. And I was like, dude, this is totally new. Like I feel like a brand new rider. And I was on a bike with electronics. I was on my RS660, had electronics, had all this, had all these things. And I'm running in advance. And I'm like, dude, I can't do this. And he's like, yeah, you can. And I was like, no, I fucking can't. I got in my own head. Right. And he's like, dude, stop. You know how to fucking do this shit. And I was like, no, I fucking don't. I ended up becoming that student where I was like, I started fighting back because too many variables are different. The riding skill set that I had learned was not the same. So I felt completely like naked almost. I'm like, I don't even know what the fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like it was a totally different experience from start to finish where I'm like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing out here. And Mark's like, yeah, you do. Just go out there and do what you know. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Like I got into my
own ride.
Yeah, I got into my own head though, because it was such a different experience from the first time that I went out there. Somebody had me my second track day ever. I moved up to intermediate. I don't know what organization this was. This is back in like 2012. I ran my first mock race. I have pictures of it. I look at my body positioning back then and I'm like, what the fuck was I doing running a mock race? Like that was stupid. I ran good time, but it was horrific. How I didn't crash, I don't know. Right. When I look back, it's like, that was luck, right? It was luck because nobody taught me how to do anything correct. They were just like, here's this, go send it. And I'm like, all right, now it's a totally different mentality. It's a totally different application. The way that I do things, it's new. So when I went out to Jennings again, after learning all of these new things and these new fundamentals and the right way to do stuff, it was like starting all over again. And it totally mind fucked me because I was like, oh yeah, I know what I'm doing. No, I fucking don't. What am I doing out here? This is a bad idea. Right. Like it totally messed with me. It was so bizarre, but that's what changing your mindset and changing the way that you do things. That's how it impacted me because I realized, holy crap, this is what I knew. And now here's where I'm at. It's totally different. But the amount of stability, and then you factor in all the electronics and all the other things that my RS660 can do, it was confusing. I'm like, what am I doing? I'm used to a raw bike that I can feel and I can control, and the lean angle and the what do they call it? That 6-axis IMU and the lean angle and the braking, all these weird things that the ECU takes care of. It's like, it's weird, you know? You don't understand it. And so when you're applying all the new things you've learned and then you have a bike that's doing things that you're not expecting, it totally screws your head up. You know, it's a really weird thing. And that was my first experience where I actually was like, damn, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Even though I did, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. And Mark's like, stop. Like, stop, dude. I'm like, I'm the student. You're the coach. Help me. I suck. You know what I mean? Like it happened to me and we laugh about it now because that's literally where it went. Like I ended up becoming the student as a coach and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm scared. Help.
Please help me, Obi-Wan.
Help me.
Well, and just so that you guys like understand my trust level with Mark, Mark has been a part of my track day organization since my very first event. So he has been with me literally since June of 2014. He's been the organization's tire sponsor and my personal, like when I was still racing, you know, Azra and everything, you know, consistently, he was my tire sponsor for Pirelli. Now, obviously going to Moto America, I don't have any choice but to switch to the Dunlops. But I still recognize Mark 10 Motorsports in all of my posts, because even if he's not providing tires, he's providing wisdom. And the dude just has buckets and buckets of wisdom that he's happy to share with anybody that's willing to listen. And that's one of the reasons why he's been a part of my organization since day one. And,
that's what, 30 years
hopefully,
of experience? Isn't that like something like 30 years
at
experience?
least.
Something like that? I mean, the
At
dude's like
least.
knowledgeable beyond about all this stuff.
And when people come to him and they play games, because how people are, man, they set you up to try and make you fail, and Mark just overcomes all that, because he's always honest to the point where he's going to give you the right information no matter what, and he'll help you as long as you don't screw him over. And he's been there for me through everything, my whole Florida racing, my whole track day organization experience from day one. That's one of the guys, like him and Frank De Laurenta have been involved with me since almost the beginning. And that's one of those things where, that you can't buy that kind of professionalism. And you can't buy, there's a price that you can put on training, but there's not a price that you can put on people like supporting you and doing it for the right reasons. And there are so many people that have been involved in my organization and in my racing that, I mean, I'm sure you guys see the laundry list of sponsors and supporters I have. And it's funny because Kevin Elliott would give me crap all the time. He's like, we need to add more lines to the sponsor sheet because there's not enough for you. And I'm like, I'm sorry, man. I bring the upside for me was I was bringing sponsors that were sponsoring my track day organization. I was bringing them over and carrying them into my racing too, which was great. Scott Diamond was like my first sponsor ever, and has been involved with my program since the very beginning also, with Moto D. Woodcraft has been involved for a very long time, and everything that Woodcraft brings to the table. I've had a couple of different suit companies, but I really found my home with Bison. I'm never going to have enough nice things to say about Rob and Tasha and Bison Leathers. Whoever's watching, I don't know. I can't see anything on my side right now because I'm on the phone. But if you're watching and you need a suit, here's two options for you. Number one, go to my racing page. I'm holding a raffle for $75 a spot or a chance to win a suit from Bison Custom. Or just go straight to Bison and talk to Rob and Tasha and get a suit made. Because if you want to have somebody who genuinely cares about our industry and genuinely cares about our safety and genuinely wants to see these half-assed companies, these hack companies that, I get 10 messages a day from Mashim Assad from Pakistan.
Bro, dude, it's every
so tired of it,
dude. It's the suit manufacturer and the guy that wants to cartoon my image,
dude.
Yes, but I text them and I'm like, listen, I'm sponsored. I don't need your stuff. Thanks for the offer. I don't need anything. And then they send me 300 pictures of their ripped off copyright infringement suits. And I'm like, you know what? Go away, because I'm not gonna do business with you. I gave you a nice out, and you're still sending me messages. So now I'm gonna be mean. I'm gonna pull a Kevin Rodeo on them and just rip into them if they keep going. By the way, Kevin Rodeo is my messenger spirit animal. Because some of the stuff that he says is just so great.
He cracks me up. Kevin's awesome, dude.
Kevin,
dude, so to touch base back on, dude, Robert and Tasha Lackey, you're right. They're the greatest some of the greatest people I ever met in my life. They are, I tell everybody, Bison all the way. If you need a suit, Bison. If you can't get in touch with them, let me know. I'll call Rob personally on my phone and say, hey, answer the phone. I got it. You know, it's yeah, they are the best people
Yep.
when it comes to that.
Well, and I'm getting ready to talk to him about doing suit rentals for Legacy for the rider development and racing school, because they have a really awesome program and work out something to where we have Bison gear for our rentals, because I don't see a better way to keep my riders safe, on top of having, you know, the USMCA behind me, on top of having AMA insurance and sanctioning, and you know, so like ultimately, like, I want to bring the best to the table. I want to bring the people that have the best experience. I want to bring people that are genuinely in it for the sport. And you know, the reality is that there's too many people individually that are in this sport for all the wrong reasons. And you know, there's nothing wrong with wanting to help people. When you try and monetize every single aspect of it, you're making it harder for the new guys to come in and actually learn. You know, like, there's no reason why somebody should just starting out go out and buy a $2,000 suit. Like, it's ridiculous.
It is.
And you know, people like Rob and Tasha, and Mark, and all of the sponsors that I work with, they all have this industry's best interests at heart, and they're genuinely in it to regrow and redevelop the sport and make sure that people are on the best possible equipment. There's so many hack companies, there's so many hack track days, there's so many hack coaches, and everybody's so afraid to say it, that the problem is that in that fear, all this bad stuff and bad information is getting out there, and people are getting hurt, and people are misunderstanding or misrepresenting the product. And the product is real simple: proper education, proper safety, proper gear, but we got to be able to do it at a price that makes sense, because it's so hard. It's so hard for new track riders to get into racing without it costing everything. And so it's, you know, it's not like the old days where sponsorships actually paid money. You know, that's the other problem, is there's so many sponsorships that don't exist anymore, because those sponsorships don't sponsor like they used to. Why am I going to give you money and discounts when I can slap a sticker on a street rider's bike for free after he paid full price for a product and advertise my brand? Why am I going to do that? And that's the fail point in this industry, is everybody's out to monetize every aspect of this sport. And you can't go into it with that mindset. And that's why I'm still around almost 10 years later, because, yeah, you know what? I don't hold a ton of events, but my events are not about quantity. They're about quality. And I focus on that, and I focus on the education, and I focus on the safety, and I care more about what happens to my riders after they graduate my school and they move on and they go to racing. You know, I'm still in touch with almost every single person that has come through my school, because I genuinely care about what happens in their advancement. And if they have a question, if there's something they don't know, if there's something I don't know and I can't answer it, I'm going to find you the answer, and I'm going to put you in touch with that person, because the reality is I know I don't know everything. I know I don't have all the answers.
I think that's what separates, you know, a lot of these schools or just educational formats in general. Like, all the people that come to me and they take my class, right, and they show up and they have a good experience, I'm like, listen, when this is over, I want to talk to you in like 2 or 3 days. I want your brain to unpack what happened, and I want to talk to you about it. I want to know about your experience and what you learned. Like, I don't want to know right now. I want to know how you feel in like 2 or 3 days from now. And then I want to know, when you go ride your bike, how do you feel? And people will reach out and they'll tell me their experience. And like, dude, complete change in the way that I ride now. Like it just the basic in 4 hours. Some people take my class one time and they'll have 4 hours experience with me and they're like, dude, the muscle memory and all of these little things that you taught me, like I feel it and I see it and I do things different, you know? And I'm like, here's my phone number, call me. Here's my group, my rider development page. Like join it and be on there. I've got people from all over the country that are experiencing all different things, you know? And it's like, if you have a question, jump on the forum and just ask. Somebody will give you a legitimate answer. Don't go on the internet and Google some forum. I've got some people that actually know what they're talking about, you know? And I did that on purpose, and it's slowly starting to show like this isn't a paywall experience where you come and take it and you never hear from me again. Like I want to build community.
Yeah, there's too much pump and dump in our industry.
Yeah, and like I want to build community, right? And like if you show up and you go and you buy a bike and you show up and I'm teaching the class, come sit in it. If I have time, I'm going to work with you. So many people will just like donate like $50 sometimes because I help them tweak whatever it is, or they'll throw me $100 just because they're like, dude, this was cool. I don't expect it. Some people are like, please. And I'm like, no. And I'm like, all right, if you're going to insist, I'm not going to say no to that. Right. But that's what it's turning into, right? I'm trying to build the community up. And not only is that building up the training community of just people coming out and riding on a Thursday or a weekend, but it's starting to feed and fuel South Florida Mini GP. And I've also got people now that are like, well, I want to go do the bigger track day stuff. And that's why I keep saying like CJ's someone who I've been talking to for a while about this, but my riders are finally coming up to that point where they're like, all right, I want to go to this level now, you know? And there's some other things I want to
bring up. And that's why I'm working on this new rider development.
Yeah. And, you know, I don't know how much time we got left, Chris.
I mean, dude, we're an hour and 46 minutes into this podcast.
So
I was going to say, I'm actually going to have
things I want to say too. So
no, yeah.
Well, you can stay. I got to fly because I'm on an eating schedule. Because obviously I've got weight to lose. You know, every 7 pounds is a
go eat your salad and drink your water.
Hey, there's chicken and spinach. All right, leave me alone. But listen, I love this. This was a good time. Simcoe, dude, you rock. You're mega. Yeah, that's right. I'm gonna throw your own word at you. And Glandon, we'll talk probably 5 times before the weekend. But hey, listen, I appreciate y'all, inviting me into the chat. It was a good time, a lot of good information, and I really hope anybody that's watching right now takes a lot from this, because this is not only how we grow our programs, but it's how we regrow the community and we regrow the sport.
Also the future of what's going on too, right?
Absolutely.
We're finding people. We're going to find those gems that are good, and South Florida Mini GP is going to find those gems. I'm finding people that are fantastic riders that just come out of nowhere, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yep.
This guy's just got it.
No, I love Michael and his family, and and those guys produce some really awesome talent.
Yeah. We're going to keep hunting them down. We're going to keep finding them.
Scott Stump up at New Jersey, Michael here in Florida. The mini GP programs now, are just such an amazing tool. And now with your program and, you combine that with my program, we actually have a product that's going to actually not just save people's lives, but make them better riders. And I really appreciate you guys allowing me to come on here and burn up, an hour and 15 minutes of your time. Yapping my jaw.
Yeah, I'll never do that.
No. Listen, CJ, the honor's all mine, dude. It really is. And I appreciate you.
No, I appreciate you also, man. And thank you for all the support that both of you guys have given me and my organization. And, I look forward to seeing y'all comment on my Moto America efforts. Super hooligans. I make no claims that I'm going to be something I'm not. And I know who's at the sharp end of the spear. But I'm going to go out there. I'm going to give them all. I'm going to do my best. And, I really appreciate any support you guys can steer my way. Like I said, we do have a raffle going on my pages. You'll see that it is a waffle, because on social media, you got to be real careful what you say and how you say it.
Yeah.
but we've got that waffle, and we're trying to sell as many spots as we can, not only to help somebody get a suit, but also to help me drive around this country, because I only have one event in Florida, and then it's the Ridge, Laguna, Mid-Ohio, and Coda. That's a lot of driving and flying. So, anybody that's willing to contribute, just PM me, reach out to my race page, my track day page, whatever. Any help, we'll take any of it. And I also have shirts. We got Bison Team Crew shirts that came in. Chris, you have all the stuff. So, like anybody that wants to pick up a crew shirt, PM me and we'll make the arrangements. I'm getting ready to send out the first batch of pre-orders here in the next couple of days. So, if you guys want to get a crew shirt, that all the money from that just goes to help support the program. I don't pocket any of it. So thank you guys for having me on. I appreciate you.
Proper Mega, I appreciate you too, my friend. Can't wait to have you back on again. And just like that, he's out.
See ya.
Good stuff, man. Yeah, dude, CJ is awesome. And listen, dude, what you guys are doing is magnificent. It really is. It's exactly like what Miguel just said. The future starts with what you guys are doing. I mean, it's amazing. Absolutely amazing. And then Mike actually says, taking Chris Gladson's class was amazing experience. Sorry if I murdered your last name again. Sorry. Listen, I'm gonna stop saying that. I'll never say it again. Taking Chris's class was amazing experience in the fundamentals. Oh, this is good stuff. It says I love being one of his students. Yeah, it's
dude, I've been coaching John. Well, so John and I have been riding together for like, I don't know. We started riding like 12, maybe 15 years ago on the street. And he took a long time off. I took a long time off. And then I started doing this. And he literally showed up to like this, probably my first or second, like legit class I put together with like 6 people. And he just like showed up and hung out and was like, dude, I learned so much. And I'm like, good, because I don't know what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Like I just like started to try to figure out like how to communicate all this stuff. So I was a nervous wreck. I mean, I knew what to do, right? Don't get me wrong, but it was like, is this really going to work or not concept? Right. And, he was like, dude, I learned a hell of a lot, and so did everybody else. And I'm like, damn, I guess I can do this. When you're first starting out, you don't even believe what you're going to do is going to actually like be receptive. Can you communicate, articulate, explain? Dude, you never know, right?
You don't.
But it did. And he's been there since the beginning. And he's been coming ever since, and he's showing the result now too, right? So it's been really cool to work with people for such a long time, and people just be around through this whole process and see where I started and where I'm at now, and like the growth. Like he's been there since the beginning, like with a few other people, and then Mike Munson, he just came to me recently and like just had an amazing experience, and he's been through. He did, I think, into track day. He made it on Yamaha Street or Champ Street or whatever, I think maybe. But it's cool to work with all these different people from different experiences, from brand new dude that's been riding for a month to one of those girls has been riding for like 40, 50 years. And it's like, I can't believe how much I learned in 4 hours. And I'm like, that's awesome to me. To hear someone that's been riding that long and be like, man, I didn't know this, So some of the stuff I want to point on, like, because I know it's been running forever and people are probably bored, and there's still 9 people?
13 watching.
There's 13 people watching?
Yeah.
Dang, wow. Oh, crap. All right. So there's some really cool things in the works right now. So the ProRider side of this, which was the police training, it's taken me a year to find a parking lot to use that's within my territory because I have the greater Tampa Bay area. And, dude, everybody from everywhere has told me no. Like, I've gone everywhere. I've called everybody. I've talked about it online, emotionally. People have given me references, and I'm like, talk to them. So I finally found somebody right at the Pasco Pinellas County border, right, which is in the greater Tampa area, right off of US 19. So anybody in Tampa listening will probably know where this is, Tarpon Springs. Just past Tarpon Avenue, there's a huge parking lot on the right-hand side. I'm going to be working with that guy who has Rider's Choice, and we're going to kind of try to work stuff out where I can bring some advanced rider development and the MSF licensing side. So if anybody knows someone that wants to get licensed, I now have an outlet for that, and he's a good coach. He's been doing it for 15 years in the same spot. We're going to clean up the lot. The lot cleanup is going to start next week. So I got a ton of work to do there with cleaning up and prepping everything, getting all the gravel and dirt and sand up. And we're going to start doing that. And then I have a potential office space right across the street where I could put the motorcycle simulator and actually run the business with an office space right across from the parking lot. So the goal is to put the simulator in there, start doing body positioning classes there, and then have the lot to start doing the police training, the sport bike training, and the mini bike training, because I'll be able to, this is like 175,000 square foot, like surface area.
Yeah.
It's huge. So I can set this up to do all the course drills, the cone drills, everything from the sport bikes to the cruisers to the mini bikes, you name it, right? So not only do I have this coming down the pipe, but I've also got the track side that I've been doing all the fundamental stuff, right? So things are just slowly turning into, I mean, dude, like I thought 2024 was going to be like, you know, let's make it a big year. But, dude, stuff is just, like, rolling in so quick. The USF position where I'm going to be able to start working with those guys is coming down now. Finally, I've been working on that for 6 months. The parking lot, I spent 6 months navigating, is finally starting to happen. And then, you know, I've got my nonprofit, too, by the way, which I'm not sure if you know about. But I started a nonprofit called Save a Rider, right?
No,
my nonprofit is solely focused on motorcycle awareness, but for the rider, not for the, I mean, we can do the driver awareness side of it too, but it's for the rider, but an emphasis on rider development, right? And like one of the things I want to do is raise money so I can offer free training. And I want to also build training facilities. And, you know, I'm going to keep my fingers crossed, but USMCA turned me on to an opportunity with Yamaha, and we might be able to get a track built that will be piggybacking another track that we know of, and it will be for e-bikes and potentially the super motard, so we can integrate this gigantic track, have dirt, asphalt, super motard, e-bike, everything 2 wheels in one place, you know. And the nonprofit is giving the opportunities for this. So not only am I trying to like raise money for building training locations, but I'm also trying to raise money with this nonprofit to allow me to host free training programs where people can apply and come and train with us and hire some people to come with expert knowledge. I'm just teaching people how to ride in a group, you know. Like there's so much opportunity for this, and nobody's done anything like that. The nonprofit got approved so fast when I submitted it at the federal level. Normally that takes months, and it was like 3 weeks. They were like, "You're approved." I was like, "Wow."
Damn.
So like, there's just so many things that are like slowly starting to align, and like the nonprofit helped me align with the Yamaha opportunity. You know, the ProRider school helped me align with a bunch of people. The mini bike thing allowed me to align with Michael Correa and CJ. Like there's just all these, it's all networking, right? And like finding the right people that follow the same goals and want to do the same thing. And that's literally what this has turned into. And even some of my students, like some of my students are just coming out of nowhere. Like, dude, this is freaking phenomenal. Not only did I learn a lot, but I want to help. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm blown away by the support of the motorcycle community, right? Like I never thought I was going to get support like this from people. And it's just like every time I turn around, somebody's like, yo, I want to help out, or hey, here's this, or here's that. And I'm like, oh my God, dude. It's incredible, Chris. I can't even like stress how how humbled and grateful I am for like everybody that has fully supported me for the last year, dude. Like I had no idea it was going to turn into what it's turned into.
Listen, I feel the same exact way with this podcast. I never would have dreamed. It's same boat, man. It's
Yeah.
it's just insane. And you're right. 2024 is going to be proper mega for everybody, you know, and for our sport. We just need to keep doing what we're doing, help each other out, and together we'll help the sport grow. And
One person at a time, man.
one person at
That's really what
yeah.
it is.
Absolutely, dude. And if that comes true too for Trayson, man, with that'd be the best Disney World ever, wouldn't it? You got flat track, you got supermoto, you got road racing. I mean, that would be dirt.
I mean, listen, man, if that gets pulled off, like we'll know by the end of first quarter if there's going to be an interest. I mean, I don't see why not, right? But if this one gets pulled off, and this can become like the new hub, like I'll put you this way: the company that I had put the preliminary overview together built some tracks in some other states that Red Bull hosts sponsored events at, right? And it's like pump track level, like bikes and skateboards and all that. We're taking that concept and scaling it. And, you know, if we can get them to really understand what this concept is and have it scaled out and plug it into another track where it can be utilized specifically for e-bikes, supermotard, but also bicycles, skateboards, wheelchair, like you name it, right? It has it has the ability to do all that, but the main focus is the training side of the two things I want, but it has scalable opportunity. You know, like if this works out one time, man, that means we can replicate this, you know, and not only like with one company, but other companies that might want to step up and say, all right, let's start building training facilities. Because honestly, man, we need that. There is nothing, dude. I fought for a year trying to find a parking lot to use. How stupid is that? I've called so many MSF schools and saying, hey, you already do this. I'm fully insured. Can I work with you? We work with Harley Davidson dealerships all over the country. You know, there's 90, I think there's like 90 or 95 ProRiders in the United States, right? I just happen to have the Tampa version of it. But like there's like 90 something schools in the United States, and they're all doing really good. They work with Harley Davidson dealerships and all that, teaching the advanced police civilian version of this. I've called every Harley Davidson dealership that I could find. They all were not interested. Burt's Barracuda, I went and did events with them, not interested in doing advanced training. Isn't that weird? I'll call all of them out because it pisses me off that I've called everybody and none of them want to work with me. Oh, they got somebody trained. Where's your classes at? Why aren't you offering them? I get phone calls all the time. Nobody's offering these classes. I can't find a damn parking lot to use. You know, I fought tooth and nail for it, and I finally got somebody who wants to work with me. You know what I'm saying? But why would that take a year of hustle to get one guy that finally says, okay, this got a parking lot that wants to try and help better people's riding abilities? You know what I'm saying? Like It's a very strange problem that is unexplainable, and it frustrated the living shit out of me, dude. But you know what? It's finally here. It's finally working. And I hope that this relationship can develop into something awesome and we can scale it. Because if we can do it in one and we can bring the right people in, we can do it in more. And if the nonprofit can raise some money and we can just build a facility and nobody has to worry about getting sued and all the other bullshit they're worried about, dude, that's what I want. You know, I want Save a Rider, the nonprofit 501c3 that I've got, to become a hub to raise money to do this kind of stuff. Training, building training facilities, that kind of thing. ProRider is just going to be training at the track and training in the parking lots. You know, Moto Trainer, teaching people the basics. Like, dude, all this stuff is so easy to do, but nobody wants to support it.
Yeah, I mean, Pat Sheridan said it's probably, and he's right, attorneys and insurance. You know, insurance is it's a big thing. But yeah, dude, you're right, man. If you bought land and you built it yourself, you're good, right? I mean, absolutely.
I mean, listen, you can get sued doing anything, right?
What, buddy?
It's 9:03. You've been on for like 3 hours.
I've been on for 2. We're getting ready to end
Two.
it here in a few minutes, okay?
All right, everybody, we're ending now.
He said, "Okay."
Oh man, he said it's time to go.
Yeah.
It's time to go.
We're getting off now.
Buddy, I'll be off here in a few. That's yeah. How you did.
Keep talking.
All right, bud. Let me finish up, and I'll be in there.
No,
I love
I'm
you.
gonna stay here.
Okay, you can stay here. That's fine. Pull up a seat. Go grab you a chair. Anyway,
That was hilarious.
yeah, dude, it's good stuff, man. Good stuff, man. We actually had Joe said, "Hey, Mark, they already stopped talking about you." Laughing emoji. That's good stuff.
I was excited because I thought he was gonna hop on.
Yeah, me too. But you know what?
I think he was just
Next
viewing.
time, we'll definitely
Yeah,
get
you
him
hear
on.
that, Mark 10?
Yep, we'll get you
the
on.
show, buddy.
We will. And you know what? If you're uncomfortable doing it live, we'll pre-record it and I'll put it out on Spotify and all that good stuff. So yeah, be good stuff. Be good. Well, yeah. Listen, dude, we've been going at this for over 2 hours. This is my longest podcast, Chris. This is awesome.
And there's still, it looks like there's 10 people on it still.
There's actually 14 people.
14 people. That number
Yes.
keeps dropping, but still, man, it's awesome, dude. Hey, guys, listen, thank you for everybody who stayed in and listened to this ramble. But most of you, if you know me, or the ones that have taken my course, I appreciate you guys all, because I wouldn't be here without the help from everybody paying attention to what I'm doing. And I got to give a shout out to Chris Simcoe for bringing me on and letting me talk and say what I got to say. And I was very reserved. There's a lot more mean things I want to say to the world, but I can't, because I got to be respectful and politically correct and bureaucratic and all that bullshit. But man, there's some good stuff coming down the pipe, and I'm glad I had a chance to vocalize some of the things and appreciate everybody helping out big time.
Yeah, man. Listen, we'll definitely have a part 2 of this. Me and you, we'll get back together, and maybe CJ will come along too, and Mark, and yeah, we'll continue this conversation because it's great. I mean, a lot of people said that we need to talk about this. Is something that
I want to plant one seed.
Yeah, go ahead.
We need to get Ken Hill on this podcast,
dude. Let's do it. I already talked to Ken, man. I had
get
plans.
Ken on here, bro. Get Ken Hill on here, dude. I had a great conversation with that guy. Get Ken Hill on here. It'd be cool to have me and Ken and CJ and Mark. If you could get all 4 of us on a call, me, Ken Hill, CJ, and Mark 10 on a call, that would be freaking sick, because we all are like collectively in the same space, and we're all in different places, right? In the industry, we're all in different little tiny niches of it, but we all talk the same way. That would be a sick call.
Yes. Rossi, it's cool. You could just leave him. My dog, if I don't touch him, he'll sit there and continue to bark the whole time. So I'm like, dude, will you get him out of here real quick? What? Oh, they see you. So yeah, everybody sees my goof. Yeah, plug up the camera. There you go. Kids are awesome, man. Awesome. But yeah, listen, dude, there's still so much more we got to talk about. So we'll definitely do a part 2 of this, because I didn't even get to ask you all the personal questions I wanted to ask you. Right,
man.
I didn't
it's
get
just
a chance
been nonstop talking, bro.
But it's okay. It's good.
Let's make it happen, because you know what? The next time that you talk to me, all the shit's gonna be in place.
I know.
There'll be a lot more to talk about.
Yes, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
I do.
More to talk about.
I do, and it was an honor to have you on, man. I really appreciate this. This is good times, man. We had Eli had me crying, laughing with those comments earlier.
Oh, dude, I was dying, bro.
Dude, I was dying, man. It was, yeah, he is proper.
I couldn't even see who it was until I had to go add all the pages just to figure out who made that comment. So like anytime I want to comment, it's like I gotta go to Facebook, I gotta go to your Chris's page, I gotta go to podcast page, YouTube, just to figure out who said what about whatever.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think next time, man, instead of going to Chris Simcoe's live, I might just try Pin to Gas's live and see if that's easier for everybody. Instead of having 2. I just wanted to give everybody options, but
let them tune in where they want to tune in, man, because it brings more, it drives more people. I mean, shoot, you said there was this many people attached to it. May as well just
Hey, I mean, we still got 16 people watching right now. And listen, everybody,
crazy, man.
Look, everybody. This is Cruz. Say hi, Cruz.
What's up, Cruz?
You gonna tell everybody hi? Oh, okay. All right, you had your chance. But there he goes, right? So yeah, he'll
Pat Sheridan says you better reserve 3 hours for Mark. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
not lying, dude.
No, and it's
When
good.
my
we
phone
will.
rings, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna be busy for 2 hours. But that's just the kind of guy he is, man. Like that's how
Yeah.
deep the conversation rolls. If you could put a mic on that dude, man,
Forget about it, right?
bro. The knowledge that comes out of that guy, like I always tell him, I'm like, we need to get this shit recorded because sometimes it's just so good. We're never going to get that conversation back.
Right? I know. It's good stuff, man. And look, CJ says, kids, I have 6. Bro, you're a busy man with 6 kids.
He's got 6 followers on his live feed, is what he means.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
I thought you meant you got 6 kids. I was like, bro, you're even busier than I thought. Wow. That's crazy.
Oh, somebody likes my beard. Who was that?
Sexy.
Oh, Rick Glover.
Rick Glover.
I know.
Yeah,
oh, you like that?
Stop.
You like how it kind of goes to a point?
It does.
I just keep telling Mike Correa, I'm like, dude, you got your first gray hair the other day right here. I messaged him. I was like, I see your gray hair coming on your face. Dog. I see it.
That's awesome, dude. No, CJ did say he has 6 kids.
Oh, he has 6 kids?
Yeah,
for real?
I have 6 kids. Yeah.
Oh, damn. I thought he was talking about the people looking at us.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
That's awesome. But yeah, listen, Chris, dude, this has been a lot of fun. Like me personally, I could go on for another hour or two at least.
I know you gotta tell me to shut up, otherwise I'll keep talking.
No, you're good. I will too. But my son is not going to let that happen. He's going to be like, dude, come on, man. It's time to go. So, but yeah, listen, exactly what Chris says, man. I appreciate everybody that always watches and likes, subscribes. And I tell everybody what an honor it is. It really is truly an honor. And CJ's right. If anybody's ever in man, Bison, absolutely hands down, the best people, some of the best people in the paddock cruise. Can I finish? Thank you,
I'm
sir.
gonna have to make that switch eventually because my suit's coming. My suit's been crashed so many damn times. Never going with Taichi again. That shit was too much money.
Yeah, I know. I'm actually gonna get me I'm actually gonna get me a Bison one too myself. But I want to give a big shout out to my man Martin from the Clothing Kings. They make all my merch, so you can go to theclothingkings.co.uk. Yes, it's in the UK. But he ships worldwide. You can buy hats, beanies, and all that good stuff. I also want to give a big shout out before I get off here to my buddy Jake Marsh. Watch out, buddy, real quick. Slide to the side. There you go. My buddy Jake Marsh right there. Club 45 in BSB. He actually runs, dude, my logo in British Superbike. Dude, you kidding me, Mark? Dude, Chris, how crazy is that, right?
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Rossi's like, come on, man, let's go. But yeah, it's $75. Yes, CJ. Everybody go check out CJ Cohen on his Facebook page too. $75. Waffle get you a Bison suit. I'm telling you, those two are they're the best. Just go meet them for yourself at any Moto America race. Shoot, they even do a lot of track day stuff too. He said, I got you by 7 here.
Who said that?
Rick Glover.
Oh, Rick?
Yeah.
Rick's got 7?
Man.
Wow.
I've been slacking, dude. We've been slacking, Chris.
What? Man,
Yeah.
I thought there was 1 because I've only seen the one.
Right?
That little freaking missile that he's training.
Cooper.
That runs around and beats everybody up. Cooper, boy, that man. I thought that was the only one.
Apparently not. Apparently he's got 6 others somewhere else. So
Man,
we'll have
maybe
to
they're
get the
just so
scoop
fast
on
we
that.
can't see him. That's why.
Right? That's what it is. That's exactly what it is. 6 girls, 1 boy, 2 sets of twins. Wow, Rick. Rick and I got a pro team. CJ, yes, you and Rick need to get together for real.
Yeah, for real, man. You guys have a combination team right there.
That's
get them all trained up correct.
That's right. Listen.
I appreciate everybody. I just want to say I appreciate everybody listening. Like I didn't expect this many people to stay tuned for this long. So
I know, man.
I want to say thank you guys for listening to me ramble. And I appreciate everybody being here. And Chris, thank you so much for having me, man. It was an awesome time. And thanks for letting CJ pop in. And dude, bringing in Eli Colby, that was awesome too, bro.
Yeah,
I love that dude.
I do too. I messaged him earlier and he's like, dude, fuck yeah, I'm in. So I didn't say nothing to you. That's why I just said, hey, I might have a special guest co-host pop up in.
Man, that was an awesome surprise, man. Thank you for that.
Good, man. Yeah, man, no problem, man. But yeah, listen, what I'll do is I'll text you tomorrow in the morning and me and you will set up another part 2 of this
Okay.
podcast, and yeah, make it happen if CJ wants to join it. Shoot, anybody else wants to join. That's something that I want to start too, is like when we do go live, I want to have people that actually comment in. Just be like, if you want to come on here and ask a question live, I could send you the link and just have guests pop in, ask a question live, and then kind of move on to the next one. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
But yeah, listen, everyone, exactly what Chris just said. It's an honor. It's been an honor for the past 2 hours and 15 minutes. Tomorrow, this will be out on Spotify, iHeart, all that good stuff, all the social media. So, yeah, looking forward to it. Man, my microphone's so sensitive. If I get too close to it, it just cuts off. Yeah.
Says you're being too loud.
Right. Cruz, okay, I gotcha. He keeps stepping on my foot, but yeah, listen, just stay on with me for a minute. I'm gonna end this video. Thank you guys so much. Please go to ProRider Tampa, hit my man Chris up.
ProRiderTampaBay.com.
You
can find me on the website. ProRider Tampa on Facebook. ProRider Tampa on Instagram. It's ProRider Tampa. It's not complicated to say. Think of a pro rider and stick Tampa at the end of it. That's that easy. But yeah, I'm all over social media. You guys hit me up if you got questions. Yeah, and I won't attempt to say his last name again because apparently I fucking murder it every time I do it. Glandon.
There we go. Glandon. Like the dawn. The dawn. It's the dawn, man. It's the fucking dawn. Glandon. All right, I got you. David Gonzalez, man. I appreciate you, man. Have a great night, fellas. You too, buddy. I appreciate that, man. What an honor. But yeah, listen, guys, I'm gonna get off here, and me and Chris got some other stuff we got to do. But yeah, we will catch you next time. I appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. See you guys.